Hi, my name is Ellen Ward. I am the programs director for a youth organization called V2. We are based in Dawson County in Northeast Georgia. And I want to share a little bit about who we are and how we landed on youth mental wellness as our primary focus. So, essentially, we are a youth organization that functions after school most days. So youth come to us, they're between 6th through 12th grade. They walk to our facility every day, and we've been doing this since 2013. After COVID, we adopted a hybrid program where youth could get online with us since we weren't able to deliver our services in person. And we've actually kept that as well. So we do have some youth who join us virtually in addition to those who come after school and just walk there or get bused there every day. In 2013, when we opened, our primary focus, the thing we thought we would kind of bring into our program was STEM or STEAM. And so for years, our programming looked a lot like engineering and coding and art and science and math. And we definitely adopted some of that and kept it with our program. And we continue to do a lot of technology. But around 2015, we were noticing something about the youth that were coming into our program. So I'm going to share a slide really quickly. This is a slide that shows what we were noticing starting in 2015. So for our program, we do have to give a screener when the youth come in. And that is a very short screener, but it essentially alerts us to if there's more going on that maybe we need to make a referral for, or if the youth needs more support than we can offer, because we are not clinicians. And so if there is any kind of intervention level issue going on, we refer out for that. So that was our GAIN SS for a while. That is the screener. They would come in, and as you'll see here, we were noticing they were really high on internalizing symptoms. So they were having a lot of anxiety. They were feeling really angry. They were feeling really sad. And this was something that was kind of ticking up, and we were noticing and kind of getting alarmed by it. In addition to that, every kid that can read or write basically takes a health survey as part of the state of Georgia's, yearly thing that kids do in the school. So it's called the Georgia Student Health Survey. And I don't know how young it goes, but definitely middle schoolers and high schoolers are taking this every year. And it kind of shows the state, what kids are dealing with, what's trending up, what's trending down, and what are the unique issues that youth are dealing with in their schools. And Dawson County, and they'll do that by county, and then you can see kind of like what's going on statewide and maybe what's going on with your county. We use this data to learn what we need to focus on in our local community. I'm going to give you an example, and this is not true of our county necessarily, but as an example that might measure bullying in schools and how many youth are feeling like they're being bullied. If that's particularly high for your county, then that might be something that as a nonprofit organization, you want to make a program about. You want to focus on bullying. And again, I don't know the numbers for that in Dawson County, but what I do know the numbers for is that we were scoring above average for, there's the state, across the state, we were higher than the state average for anxiety, self-harm, and suicide ideation. So kids thinking about ending their life, making a plan. And again, that was extremely concerning. That was pre-pandemic. It continues to be an issue. But then you bring in COVID, and we did some internal data collection as well, using the Georgia Student Health Survey. And the numbers just increased dramatically with anxiety, depression, anger. It was off the charts. And it was not just in Dawson, as you'll see in this final box here, that post-COVID, the Surgeon General released an advisory about youth mental health, that it was on the decline. And the CDC also recently released a report saying that youth mental health is not good. It's not improving in any area that they measured. In fact, it's trending down in every area for both males and females and every ethnic or racial group. It has gotten worse since 10 years ago when they began collecting that data. And it's particularly bad with teen girls and with LGBTQ identifying youth. So that was a problem. And we noticed this starting back in about 2015. So what's the question you ask yourself after you notice that? Well, what do I do about that? How do we as an organization address youth mental health? So it was time for a new focus for us. We decided we were going to shift away from heavily on STEM. Again, we kept some of the things we really liked about that and move towards mental wellness, but taking, the data and going, well, how do we address this? What do we do about it? We decided we would land on mindfulness. So mindfulness, there's a lot of definitions out there, but essentially one of the working ones I use is paying attention on purpose to what's happening right now without judgment. And that's still really hard to understand, but I'll get into how we address it in just a second, specifically in my program. But here's why we picked it. We were seeing a lot of research. It was kind of emerging, and it was more and more in the lexicon, and we were seeing it a lot in magazines. We were seeing it a lot in research and in articles, and we were like, okay, we got to get on board with this. And here's some of the things that specifically help teens. So there's plenty of research for mindfulness helping adults, or helping adults with addiction, but there's not as much about teens specifically with mindfulness. So what I've pulled here comes from the University of British Columbia, and it is in relation to how mindfulness helps teens. I believe that it helps in bigger ways than just this too. I think the research that they have collected on adults probably rings true with youth as well. There's just not as much of it out there, but it helps with symptoms of depression and helps yield more positive behaviors in the classroom, helps with stress management, symptoms of ADHD, improve focus, anxiety, improve school results. So we're looking at better grades, better ability to concentrate. It is not a magic cure-all. I tell this to our youth because we practice this 3 times a week at our program in person every day. And we also stream live what I'm doing with mindfulness there too. Not a magic potion, and it takes practice, just like anything else. It's basically exercising your brain to recognize when you're starting to feel big feelings and how to stay in control, understand the feelings, not suppress them, but live with them, and then breathe through things that feel like it's becoming overwhelming. And here's how we do that, skipping through. We do a lot of breathing exercises. There's research that shows that deep breathing helps. It's like that brain body connection. It helps to calm us down. Mindful movement. So that might be some gentle stretching. That might be some basic yoga. Again, they come to me in the clothes they wore at school that day. So we're not doing intensive yoga. We are doing basic stuff. Some neuroscience. So helping them to understand their brain and how it operates, because the teen brain is in a really special stage of life. And so we want to empower them with that knowledge so they understand why they might feel like they want to go do the risk-taking behavior instead of going, oh, let me tap the brakes. That may not be a great idea. Understanding and labeling emotions is a huge part of mindfulness, is to understand what you're feeling, to recognize it, but then also not to let it inhabit you or identify with it and go, okay, this is a feeling I'm having today, and that's all right. And where does this feeling come from? And I know it's not going to stay forever. Focusing and shifting attention. So we'll do a lot of attention games, attention activities where you listen to a sound and you try to keep your entire focus on that sound until you don't hear it anymore. That sounds so basic, but they love that activity. Other ones where we just watch our thoughts. Other ones where I'll have them look for the colors of the rainbow in the room that we're in. Very, very simple stuff that you think may not land, but they love it. And I think it's because it feels good and it feels fun to give your brain a simple job that makes you feel successful, but also helps you to take a break from maybe what's bouncing around in your mind, feelings and thoughts wise. And we're also starting to bring in therapeutic art. So that's something that we have just recently adopted, and art as a mindfulness practice for kids to use their senses and to use that kinesthetic piece of being able to move them themselves and move their hands and create. So that's all of that is extremely mindful. So we are doing a lot of community projects to address wellness. So we're doing bad day boxes where we create literally looks like Chinese takeout boxes full of tools and resources for youth to take if they're having a bad day. And those are in 5 different locations in Dawson County. And we're also addressing stress and helping youth to understand that this comes with our prevention piece, because we are, focused on substance abuse prevention as well. So we're addressing that through this Music is the Antidote project by saying, hey, you could cope with bad feelings through substances, but a healthier and better way is to cope with some positive coping skills, and like listening to music. And kids love music. I think a lot of folks use music as a way of processing big feelings. And so we release a series of playlists that are curated to address certain emotions. They come with lots of songs the kids recommended, but also meditations and podcasts that address feelings of anger or feelings of anxiety or feelings of low mood or sadness. That one's been a really big hit. So going to shift gears a little bit. I want to share with you our organization's website so that you can see a little bit about who we are. Here we go. So this is us. Once people hear about us, obviously they get kind of excited and they're like, how can I help? So we are always looking for college interns or volunteers to come and complete their class hours with us for field experience. We've had a great relationship with the University of North Georgia, who has sent us folks through the education department as well as the human services department to work with us. That's been fabulous. Supporting us through sponsorship or through a wish list, that's another option for folks. And then we are always looking for community partners as well, who we collaborate with to help make these projects possible, and just support each other by making our local community a better place. So if you are a local partner, we'd love to talk with you about how to connect, or if you know a local partner. Yeah, so that's pretty much it in a very, very, very short nutshell. I'm so glad that you took the time to watch and learn, and please feel free to reach out to our organization. If you have questions, you can reach us at info@v2ga.org. And of course, you're welcome to check out our website further or our social media. You can find us at v2ga.org. And thank you so much. Hope to hear from you soon.